Chanda is a young woman who, at the beginning of the novel, is burying her baby sister because her mum is too tired and overwhelmed with grief to make the arrangements. Over the course of the novel, Chanda realizes that things at home may not be quite as they seem, and that there may be some very desperate underlying causes for her mum's illness, and she doesn't know quite what those are or what she will do if her worst fears come true. She also has a very close friend whose name is Esther. Esther's parents passed officially of pneumonia and tuberculosis, really of HIV/AIDS. Her brothers and sisters were divided amongst aunties and uncles and scattered across the countryside. And Esther has turned to the streets to try to earn the money to bring back her family, despite the health risks that brings for her. And so the novel is about Chanda's love for Esther and for her mum and her fears for the two of them. I was very interested in writing about the HIV/AIDS pandemic for a long time because I lived in New York back in the 1980s when the pandemic had hit there, and I buried a number of friends, and I knew firsthand what the disease could do. When I spoke to Annick Press, a Canadian publisher, about writing a novel about the HIV/AIDS pandemic, I said, though, that I wanted to be able to go to Africa because two things were in Africa that weren't in North America and in the West generally. One was a generation of orphans, and the second was that the entire society was in meltdown because of the disease. It wasn't simply a subset of the society. So I wanted to see how the disease worked its way through the society there. And so I went, and I found actually that a lot of parallels between the situation in Africa and what we had in the West in the 1980s. I suppose that would be up to each reader to decide. Personally, I hope that people read this book in order to put a human face to the pandemic. To see that Chanda and her family, people that we might think of as being quite different from ourselves, aren't really different from ourselves at all, but have the same loves, fears, shames, joys that the rest of us do. I think that we want to read the book to enter into another world and to see how our worlds interact and those elements of the worlds that are different from ours, but that are also the same as ours.